What is going on, everybody? This is a market recap for the DOTS bias indicator for Monday, July 14th. This is going to be very brief. Coming into the day, you can see this orange box, these highs, London highs, were hit pre-market. Usually I like to take dots setups, so when the dots are all green or all red, towards obvious liquidity. And London highs are usually one, they were hit pre-market. So the dots open at 9:30. You can see the four rows start populating with color. So when the dots are mixed, I look to do nothing, and I wait for some kind of uniformity in color to take what I call a one dot entry function, particularly if there is liquidity to draw to. So you can see the 1 minute candle after the open had this long wick. This seems like an obvious liquidity target. So simply waiting for price to settle, waiting for the dots to give me a bias. And once the dots provide a bias, look to take some kind of entry function, in this case a one dot entry function, towards the obvious liquidity. Let me speed this up, and you can see I have it pre-marked out. So right here is the first column of all green dots. So simply put, I bought a close of the 1 minute candle targeting this prior high, and you can see price sweeps this high. The dots provide a solid trade here. This was the only setup I took. I took an inversion setup down here for like half of 1R, so 0.5R. And this was a solid 1R setup, and that is good enough for the day. Content with enough on a day with no news, and being the day before CPI. But you can see going forward, if you missed this setup, again, we had, it's a 1 minute chart, highs from last Friday, regular trading hour highs. That is an obvious liquidity draw, in my opinion. So again, if you're using the dots for a bias, you wait to get a column of all green dots. So entering on the close of the 1 minute candle, targeting previous highs or a obvious liquidity target, and price shoots right to it. So I saw an interesting line over the weekend. I don't have it written down, trying to think off the top of my head. It was something to the extent that the dots work over time, but not every time. Meaning there's a positive expected value using the dots over time, but individual setups won't work every time, which is pretty intuitive, but I just like the way that sounded. So in this instance, dot set up to liquidity, on a no news day, 2 for 2 in the morning session, done around 11 a.m. East Coast time. Pretty good, pretty solid solid start to the week. So if you are interested in using the dots bias indicator for intraday bias, if that's something you struggle with, 7-day free trial, link in the bio. There's no harm in trying them out. Please feel free to ask me any questions along the way. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.